Inquilab Zindabad. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Will continue to go through its set of challenges. That's why the younger generation, the Gen Alphas, the Gen Zs here, it's really incumbent on you because it's going to be your future. It's going to be something that you have to embark on and you have to take up. And for me, some of the key steps moving forward should include economy empowerment. I wanted to draw attention to the lessons between Malaysia's Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, which is a microcredit program, and Grameen. Why? So, Amanah Ikhtiar, which is Malaysia's largest microcredit organization, was set up 5 years after Grameen. And since 1987, we have disbursed 2.3 billion ringgit Malaysia to 262,000 borrowers with a 99.2% repayment rate, the world's highest. Alhamdulillah. So it's inspired by Prof. Dinos, but it's also crucial because every time we talk about FDI, every time we talk about economic development, about investing and getting billions, don't forget the billions here and the people here also need money immediately. So AIM's holistic impact showcases, and their target was women. So they empower female heads of households, and for me, of course, it's an important microcredit story. Now, coming back to the issue of the story from Dhaka to Kuala Lumpur, I then want to move on to share some of Malaysia's own experiences. I was surprised because some of the professors here were very well versed with the Reformasi movement. And you know, it's really interesting. When it first was ignited in 1998, that the Suri Anwar Ibrahim's persecution transformed streets into classrooms of resistance. And we took over an existing political party, a multiracial party at the time, by 1999, since the regime blocked the creation of new political parties on ideals mirroring your own July Revolution, free speech, institutional checks, electoral integrity, and economic justice for all. And as you can see, if some of you follow the Malaysian news online, the opposition just held a demonstration, most of them still wrangling with corruption charges, but much space was accorded without the water cannon for free speech. So in my lifetime at least, I saw a reversal from the earlier Mahathirist years of demonstrating to today. And it's important not for the political parties, it's important for Malaysians. And are all reforms done? Certainly not, because every generation will have to continue to struggle, and that is how life is led. We must appreciate history, we live in the present, and we remain fully committed, inshallah, towards building a better future. So 2 decades of endurance through detentions and defeats, because we lost many, many elections. I personally lost the 22 general elections. And then we came together in a federal coalition of political parties. But it also eventually culminated with the 2018 democratic transition. So for every revolution, you cannot expect one single moment defining history to be enough. It's horrible, but you know, it is and it will take a series of sacrifices, like-minded support, including the ability to harness existing strengths. So what do I mean with this? I mean coalition building with people you don't like. So I'm not talking about Bangladesh, I'm not touching your political arena, I'm talking about what we did in Malaysia. And we had, of course, a recent ministers, 3 prime ministers in 5 years, but it offers critical lessons. Because in the 2018 general elections, you saw leaders who collectively spent more than a decade in prison by their chosen de facto leader made that decision. Make a decision to prioritize nation over what was done to me. The torture, the oppression, the injustice. And of course people will say, well, you still had to go through a series of betrayals. But then, it helps you understand, once you overcome your ego for personal power, benefit, what have you, and you start practicing in your mind, in your deed, in your actions, the country means more. The country is more important. The general public and the masses, they don't have time for your personal issues. Then you get a healthier ecosystem, a healthier environment to ensure the best talents. And meritocracy alone is not enough. You must also have a means-tested program so that the most vulnerable, perhaps those stuck in lower income areas, not everyone will have access to the best universities, am I right?
Yes.
Some people will have parents in prison. Some people will have difficulty after intergenerational trauma. You must ensure there are sufficient robust safety nets to lift not just those who have access to the best that the world can offer, but those who need to at least have equal opportunity in doing so. Questions? I mean, I have to thank my own reformasi journey because I grew up as a prefect, I grew up as a scout. So you see only good people, good behavior around you. And then when my father was in prison, I went to prison to visit him, but I saw more than just the visits. I saw so many people from the lower income group. They didn't have enough money to pay for transportation so they can visit their loved one who is in prison. They don't have enough money to even pay for legal support. So that's why prison reform became one of the priorities when I was members of parliament. Because it's not just about you, it's about your experiences and how you can try to tweak and improve the experiences of many others who remain voiceless. Now the next question I want to ask all of you, as much as you want rights, freedom of speech, electoral sovereignty, I think we can't lose sight of economic sovereignty. Because you also want to make sure whatever successes in terms of this new convivencia, this new ecosystem where political parties, where student movements, where activism can live side by side, succeed and is sustainable, is through economic sovereignty. Now, the question of how do we ensure our pension fund, for Malaysia is the Employees Provident Fund. They are huge, they cover up to 60% of the workforce and they provide for better days to come once you retire. So they then also help buy government debt to lessen high degree and percentage of foreign debt. And they remain Malaysia's most trusted institution to date. So the concern now is every single time we have engagements with them, how do you tackle the 40% in the informal sector? People talk about the gig economy. Inshallah, Malaysia by next month will introduce a new law governing the gig workers. Why is it important? When you're doing your work, if you meet with an accident, are you protected? What happens to your right? Not just the company's right to utilize your hours in a modern slavery-like system just to make things convenient for customers. Our PNB Sovereign Wealth Fund, using unit trust and nationalized plantations, you secure revenue from natural resources, is reinvested and enjoyed by the many, not the few, where farmers as well as planters hold equity. So I'm just saying to all of you, today, as we celebrate, the hard work remains, because even if you speak about your petroleum resources, how do you make sure that it's downstream development capability? We've had experience, of course, with Petronas, and the issue is they should be harnessed. This is belonging to the people of Bangladesh, and you don't want, because you don't have the time to develop, you are at the mercy of big multinationals who sometimes, or most times, don't care about the plight of average Bangladeshis. So ladies and gentlemen, comrades, we move to the path forward. We honor the July Revolution sacrifices, and I hope that first we ground politics in principle, where you can serve with justice, compassion, and integrity. And it's important also, at the end of the day, to work together. I see a lot of diaspora, Bangladeshi diaspora coming, and I think it's important. It requires, they call it takes a whole village, right? But it really does. For any movement to take place, there's so many complex problems in today's world. Take your pick. Issues of working conditions, issues of economic development. Is the FDI you're getting? Is it fair, and does it help local enterprises? Issues of efficiency, issues of fighting corruption. Corruption, my goodness, is not just the politicians at fault. It's also the deep state. It's also the different layers of human beings who forget sometimes they should be human and caring, but care more about profit than sharing. And of course, as mentioned earlier, you leverage diversity. I think this is a bit more challenging in a world where everything's become an echo chamber. You just watch your social media, you only talk to the people like you. You hardly see things that you dislike. You hardly meet people who are different, because that is the algorithm, again, set up by the powers that be. And this powers that be makes you question, are we really in control? And that's how regulations, control, and management of the usage of social media should take centerpiece in any government's minds. So I end, I wanted to state that there is a rising generation across the global south, building new ideas and unity against weapons to fight outdated systems. I'm asking, please let us share vision, prioritizing justice over profit, indigenous wisdom over foreign templates, and global solidarity over isolation. You must have a working industrial policy. I remember when Malaysia first came up with our own industrial policy, we were attacked by the West by not embracing the market economy enough. But everyone knows the weaknesses and failures of the market economy when it goes rampant, when it allows greed to go crazy, just during the pandemic. I don't think we want to be like that. We want to make sure that we have enough degree of safety nets to provide for our people. Bangladesh trying today becomes Nigeria's blueprint tomorrow and Malaysia's imperative next. Our fates, inshallah, always intertwined in struggle and solidarity. I hope by exchanging knowledge and standing united in pain and victory, we redefine power for the marginalized. The July Revolution ignited a beacon of change, so we must continue to champion economic dignity, uphold student-led conscience, build coalitions anchored in sincerity, not expediency, or reduced expediency, having a clear-cut sense of industrial policy, protect the sovereign wealth, and always be on the lookout for political and policy risks. May justice be your compass, courage your currency and freedom your eternal flame. Inquilab Zindabad.